How's it going, my wrestling heroes? I hope you enjoyed Raw. I feel like the show, it was solid. I mean, Raw after Mania delivered. There was a lot of NXT call-ups. We had some returns. Bobby Lashley, AOP, Jeff Hardy, Samoa Joe, Amber Moon. Oh my gosh, I mean, the list goes on and on. We'll talk more about that man, because this guy, he was impressive back in '08. But like I said, later on in the show, Raw got started off with Stephanie McMahon congratulating Ronda, right? She said, good job, right? This match right here, this was a sleeper. When it came to WrestleMania, this was one of the matches that really stood out. And you know what? She went along with it, right? They were about to hug it out, but it didn't take long, right? She put her into this nasty armbar. She ripped off the brace that she was wearing, and she was begging for her life. She's like, nah, please. I think this is just a way to write off Stephanie off TV. Or I think what will happen is that it's going to be very similar to Stone Cold and Vince McMahon, right? Where we have the employee beating up on the boss. I mean, she's not the boss, but we all know she runs the show when it comes to Raw. Really stoked to see what she'll do in the Raw women's division. I mean, again, she's definitely put them on alert. Now, speaking about putting the women's division on alert, Amber Moon was called up from NXT. She ended up teaming up with Nia Jax, our new Raw women's champion. This was a quick one. She pinned Alexa Bliss within a few minutes, give or take, which that's saying a lot for Amber Moon, right? I mean, who beats the ex-Raw Women's Champion, under 3 minutes? That's impressive. I mean, it's definitely impressive for me. And, just because they ended up teaming up doesn't mean that they're friends, right? I think come Backlash, I would like to see her compete for this title right here, because if there's anybody in the division right now, apart from Rowdy Ronda, it's definitely Amber. So, again, we'll see. We'll see come on. No, wait. Jose, no way. Jose, no way. I think his match was, total of maybe a minute? His actual entrance, he came with this giant parade, very similar to Adam Rose. It was good. I mean, it was interesting. Not the match itself, but I guess we'll see. I do hope that he gets a title shot here in 2018. I just feel like this match, or this call-up, should have occurred well over a year ago, but glad to see him to finally come up to the main roster. Now, Samoa Joe, he did end up interrupting Roman Reigns, and there are some concerns. If you guys didn't hear, Brock Lesnar, he did re-sign with WWE, which the way that I see it, I kind of see it as an unfortunate event, because as long as Brock Lesnar is on WWE contract, nobody's capturing that Universal title. He'll most likely surpass CM Punk in the longest reign, and that sucks, man, because I was really stoked to see Samoa Joe, coming back and finally getting his proper shot at the title. I mean, he has gotten it in the past, but again, the Beast, nobody can beat the Beast. Now, these hands, these hands unfortunately had to relinquish the titles. Yes, WrestleMania, he won the belts with a 10-year-old. So because of the whole schedule issue, right? 10-year-old can't come in and night out and compete for those titles. He relinquished them. And Kurt Angle, he had a great idea. He says, how about we do a tournament, right? He has a tournament going on right now. As of right now, so far, it's the Revival. They beat the Club. And I don't know if they've come up with a name yet for these two right here. I'm just going to call them the Woken Ones. I think that's a pretty good name. Drop it in the comment section if you guys have any suggestions on their tag team name. The Woken Ones finally teamed up. Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy. They're going on to next week to compete for the #1 contender spot. Because as of right now, technically, Sheamus and Cesaro, they do get the rematch clause. So we'll see what happens with that. Now, this right here, this match, I don't know. This feud, I'm kind of done and over with. So Sasha Banks, she ended up losing her match because of, I'm going to call it interference. I know some people might call it different, but come on, dude. Like, you could have just stayed back there. Bayley, she ended up, it was against Mandy Rose. So she lost the match with Mandy Rose, and I think that's what, got this whole thing started. So next week, these two will go on and, they'll face each other and hopefully finally finish this feud. I feel like this has been played out. And the whole reason for this match was basically for this, right? It was for Paige to come out and basically declared her retirement. It was a sad moment. I mean, after all, she basically revolutionized the sport when it comes to the women's division. So she finally called it. And there is still hope, because in her promo, she did say that she was talking about Daniel Bryan's situation, because Daniel Bryan had the same issues with the neck. So who knows? Maybe give it a couple of years. I would like to still see her come back. Now, right here, speaking about their jobs. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, they're no longer on SmackDown. They lost their match at WrestleMania because of that. They came to Raw and they said, Kurt Angle, hey, what's going on? Yeah, can we get a job? No, man, I think TNA's hiring. I can't believe, yeah, Kurt Angle said that. And you know what? He still gave him a shot. He's like, you know what? You two can have a match tonight. Whoever wins your match, you guys get a Raw contract. And neither one. They both got counted out. Nobody sat up from the count of 10. And I think it's pretty much, you know, a way to throw him onto the roster. Kurt Angle was watching the match the entire time, and he was impressed. So these two will most likely be drafted over to Raw come next week. Now, right here, the Authors of Pain. I think we already went over these two. Sorry, guys. The Authors of Pain, they ended up coming out with Paul. They squashed Rhino and Heath Slater. And at the end of the match, they ended up parting their ways with, at least that's the way that it looked. They ended up parting their ways with Paul Ellinger. So, okay, if they were going to part their ways, why didn't they just not come out with the man to begin with? You know, that was confusing. Maybe people wanted an explanation why Paul was no longer their manager. And these right here, once Sheamus and Cesaro finally capture those tag team titles again, and I think that's what's going to happen. Well, either Bray Wyatt or Matt. But these two right here, they're coming. And they're going to dominate, and they need the help. As far as Raw's division right here, these two will definitely help supplement that division for sure. Now, Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy right here, he did come out. They were having a promo. It was Mr. Right? We had Curtis Axel, Bo Dallas, and The Miz. They challenged Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. It was a 2-on-3, and then we heard the music playing. Fantasy Dream Match at its best right here. Check this out. These three, this was the main event of Raw, and it was awesome how they were playing it out. Like, I really loved the overall fluid of the match. Like, they were using a lot of the old Matt and Jeff Hardy Boys moves. It was just impressive. They beat them. They beat them fairly quick, and at the end, they all had their shot at Miz. I mean, this is kind of basically putting Miz back on SmackDown. I think that's what's going to happen, right? We had Lakuta Grau from the top. We had a couple of Swanton bombs. Everybody was just getting, this was epic, you guys. Seeing these three right here team up, this is fantasy tag team at its best right here. So we'll see. Maybe they'll form a faction, but only time will tell. Now, Bobby Lashley, the man that I wanted to talk about right here. If you haven't seen this custom, yeah, actually, I come to think of it, I don't think we've ever gotten a chance to review it. Drop it in the comment section if you guys want me to go over the part. Right here, word of mouth, you know, word says that he is supposed to be the next runner-up at the Universal title, but that's not going to be until later on in the year. I think SummerSlam. And I think if there's any candidate, I mean, pretty much anybody that's, you know, considered fairly big superstar on Raw, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, they've all gotten their shots at the Beast. But right here, this guy is a beast in and of himself. Really stoked, really hyped. Drop a like if you guys want to see someone finally beat that animal. Come on, man. Like, that title has to cycle through. I just feel like, as of right now, as long as Brock Lesnar holds that title, there's no credibility, at least in my eyes. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to drop a like. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't, and we'll see you on the next one.